Then go ahead and accept that if you have to. So what's up, guys? Tonight is January 26th. This is our first training of the year. I'm super excited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be talking all things content. And so we're going to get into it. But right now, I just want to invite some of the ladies to come on and just share a little bit about themselves, what they do, their businesses, and what they're hoping to get from tonight. I'll go ahead and start. So it's your girl, Desiree. Of course, y'all know I am the founder of Sis Get Up, but y'all know how I say this is our group. So make sure that you are being present. Make sure that you are watching out for the many events and things that we have all year. And then also, you guys know that I am a publisher. I publish authors. And so that is my whole thing. I love to see women take their ideas, take that book that they've been sitting on all year for 20 years sometimes and publish. And if that's you, don't hesitate to jump in the DM, sis. Would anybody else like to go next? Don't be scared, lady. And hi to the ones that just came in. Hi, Dara. Anybody else want to go?
I'll go, but my baby's in the background.
That's okay.
Crying. My name is Antonia Dupree. I am a moderator in Sis Get Up. I'm also a mindset coach and a business strategist. So I help women elevate their mindset and unblock their money issues and money trauma to make the profitable businesses, kingdom businesses for God. So that's a little bit about me. And I will stop talking because my baby's crying.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Tony. Anybody else? Anybody else? I do have one in the comment. Trezana says she can't speak at the moment. But she's a spiritual life coach. She helps women overcome their spiritual barriers in order to achieve their personal goals. I love that, sis. I love that. Sometimes you don't even know what's in the way. And so she's helping women unblock that. I love it. I know she also has a group herself called Free Women, Free Women. And so super powerful. Anybody else? Y'all gonna make me start calling y'all. Let's see who else.
I'll go.
Thank you, sis.
I am Autumn McKinney. My full-time job is working with Department of Treasury for the state of Michigan. I'm here to soak up all knowledge, network. Yeah, that's why I'm here. So hello to everyone.
Hey, I love it, sis. That is super powerful, and we are happy to have you. Anybody else? We're just introducing ourselves, explaining what we do, and then what we're hoping to get from tonight. Welcome to the ladies that just came in.
I'll go next, sis. My name is LaRashia, guys. I am the owner of Royalty Financial Features. I pretty much own a credit repair business with personal and business credit, and I'm looking forward to coming in here to actually getting more of my content to convert, which I do post a lot, but something is missing. So I've been following you for a while and you are definitely dope. So I wanted to definitely link up with my dope sister to definitely get me on a rage of success, because if your content ain't doing nothing, then you ain't doing nothing. So I love this and I'm so glad that I was invited and I'm ready to learn something.
Come on, sis. I love all of that. She said, if your content ain't doing nothing, then you ain't doing nothing. That is the thing right there. Anybody else before we jump into it?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, we can. Hey, girl.
Hello, hey, girl. My name is Kanasia, and I am the owner of Kay's Beauty Journey. I am a skincare specialist and a traveling makeup artist. Ooh. I am here to network and just to speculate and see if you got some new tips. I believe I do what I can do with my content and I do okay, but it's always good to learn more. Everything is always changing. Somebody, may just be a little bit more creative in their approach with it, and content is currency. So I'm just here to kind of see what value you're going to add. And if it's no new value, I met new people, right?
Okay, that's what matters. I love that. Content is currency. I have not heard that. I'm gonna have to use that, sis. And I love that you do skincare. Skincare is just, that's been on my heart so much. And so also, ladies, if you can't speak and you want to just drop your links in the comments, I know you can't click on them in Zoom, but I like to go and I'll pull them up. So I would love to get yours on there so I can look at your links and your website and all that.
Yes, ma'am. I will add that here in just a moment.
Awesome. Anybody else? We're going to go ahead and dive right into it.
Okay, I can go as
Okay.
well. I'm Asia Monet. I own Paint with Monet Paint Studio. I do private paint parties, sell art kits, and private art lessons. And I want to begin content creating. I don't really have much of that going on, so I would like to start. So I'm here to figure out what I can learn.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Where you at, Asia?
Right now, I'm probably at the bottom of the screen. I don't have my face on here.
So like, where you from? Are you in Michigan?
Yes, Lansing, Michigan.
Lansing? Okay, I'm pretty sure I heard of this. Girl, why didn't I need to come and find out more about this. So do you do it like the painting? Is it a facility you go to, or you have like
Yep, I have an art gallery of my own on the east side of Lansing across from Wash Park.
Look at that.
And I've been there in April, it will be 2 years. So I've been operating out of there. So I do private paint parties. And next month I have a bunch of different parties. I'm doing a Black History Month party where we do the 3D hair onto the pictures, and as well as a kid Valentine party on the 12th of February.
I love that. I'm sure we ran into each other. I just can't see your face, but we're gonna have to connect. I love everything about that.
Okay, thank you.
I love it. Let's take one more. If you're out there and you just like, I gotta get out here. I came to network, put my business out there. Like, y'all, our YouTube gonna blow up one day, so don't miss the opportunity. If not, we'll go ahead and bring our amazing speaker on.
Hey, I'll go next.
All right, let's get it, girl.
So my name is Tashina Patterson. I have a business called Blissful Baskets. I am located in North Carolina. I also have a book, The Walls, Breaking Down to Build Back Up, created by the lovely. So it is on Amazon, by the way. But I do want to be able to create a new way or a new outlook of building my brand for Blissful Baskets. I create baskets, I design baskets and bottles, and body scrubs. So I guess I want to figure out how to get my content out there, not just through like TikTok and Instagram and things like that, but figuring out another outlet and create a website where you can customize things. So I guess figuring out how to do that, how to make it more creative, and also figuring out links to get it out to where, like, if I do it on TikTok where the watermark isn't on there, so that other reels can pick up, so I can get it out there that way too.
Perfect. I love that, sis. That is amazing. And then last but not least, we have Samantha, who is a social media manager, a graphic designer from Southeastern New York, or not New York, North Carolina. So yes, let's get it. All right. Without further ado, I welcome our speaker. Come on, sis. The lovely Natasha. This is the content queen, y'all. So the connection queen, content queen, all of that. So let's welcome her on. Go ahead, sis.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Perfect. I think we are good. If you can hear me, drop one in the chat. Okay, perfect. I'm like my Wi-Fi been tripping. Okay, cool, perfect. So thank you so much, Desiree. Definitely want to give it back to you. Super, super excited to be able to, come here and showcase some things for sure. I believe most people introduce themselves, but I want to know, do we have more service-based entrepreneurs on the line or product-based entrepreneurs on the line. Would love to know. So if you could participate, drop in the chat. Are you selling services? Are you selling products? Let me know. I got my chat box open so I can take a look. We got service, perfect, service and products. Love it, love it. So as I go ahead and let that the answers trickle on in, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I am Natisha Livingston, like Desiree said, known by many as the Connection Queen. I am actually a social sales strategist. So I help business owners, entrepreneurs learn how to sell online, build intentional relationships with their audience so it converts. Right? We got digital products, services, actually both. Perfect. And so I love helping specifically service-based providers, but what I'm going to be going over today, literally anybody can apply. And so I know everybody is on here like, okay, content, but here's the thing. I promise you, for the most part, it's not your content that is not converting. Like you can literally put out content and it can convert. What a lot of times what service-based entrepreneurs are not understanding is that it's our personal image that we have to work on. So a lot of times we try to work on the tangible. That's just human nature. We try to work on the things that we can touch. So we think, oh my God, I got to get better with my content. I got to learn how to master Canva. In all actuality, you need to work on yourself. And so today we are definitely going to be talking about content, but I wanted to tap in to some of the intangible things that we can work on that's going to produce themselves to the outside world. Because a lot of times we'll try to show up, to potential clients. We'll try to show up online, but we're broken, we're hurt. Like we have all of these, insecurities about ourselves. And that's literally, people can tell. Right? When I was, broken and confused, I was literally attracting the broken, the broke and confused. Right? And so you literally are what you attract. And so the best thing that you can do for your business is literally work on yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me one sec. Cool. I think everybody should be able to see. Perfect. Let me put this down here. Let me pull up the chat box. If anybody has any questions at any time, I'll go ahead and have this up here. Perfect. So if you do have any questions, I will have access to be able to look at that. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I already introduced myself. No need to do that again. Desiree already had us do networking, so we don't need to do that. So what is personal image, right? Personal image can literally be broken down into two things. Number one, it's how you see yourself. And number two, it's how other people see you, right? How you see yourself and how other people see you. So let's dive into, okay, so how is it that I see me, right? There is this thing that I learned. I went to this conference 2 years ago. And when I learned this concept right here, it literally changed everything for me. I am from Sacramento, California, went to a conference out in Houston, Texas, and the gentleman there was talking all about belief, right? All about belief. And I am a believer, so this is going to get a little bit spiritual if you think of like a higher power, a creator, right? But this is just what has helped me for the past 2.5 years, just really with my personal image, right? And so there is a triangle of belief. You have your body, your mind, and your spirit, right? So your spirit was created first. So the spirit was created first, we possess the mind, and we live in our body, right? And so here are some things that you have to understand, right? God equals spirit, spirit equals the word. And if you take this back down to like algebra that none of us really use anymore, where they had that like equals like and equals, right? God equals spirit, spirit equals word. And so if you break that down, God equals word, okay? And so in the word, he gave the spirit man dominion over all things that he created, right? And so what we have to understand is that we literally can create anything that we want, right? We literally can create anything that we want. So how exactly do we create though, right? And so what you first have to understand is that we're able to create through the words that we speak. And so you first have to ask yourself, am I speaking life or am I speaking death over the things that I'm saying about myself? Right? So the dominion that we have is literally in our word. Like before I went to this conference, when we say things like, oh, I'm tired, I'm broke, right? Time is literally non-existent. So you're saying that right now. Somebody asked me to go to the back page. Okay, cool. I'll go back for a sec. My light just went off. Okay, cool. All right, so basically, before I had went to this conference, I used to say things like, I'm broke, I'm tired, right? And it wasn't until this was broken down to me where I started to understand, right? Time is non-existent. So we're literally saying, I'm broke, I'm tired in the present, but we don't know when this is going to manifest, right? We don't know if it's going to manifest 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So we're literally speaking things over us, right? Am I good to change it? Okay, cool, perfect. Right, so you got to ask yourself, are you speaking life or are you speaking death over yourself, right? And so here is where the confidence comes from. Self-confidence comes from the awareness of the power inside of you. And I want you to think about this just for a moment, right? I want you to think about this just for a moment, because if you truly believe, right, that you are a creator, if you truly believe that you are created in his image, right, that means there is literally a little God inside of you, right? That means we are all little G's. We ain't big G, but we are all little G's. That means there are little gods inside of all of us, which means the world that we created, the world that we live in, we created it. Whether you hate your life, love your life, grateful for your life, we literally create the life that we're living, right? And so this confidence that we have, it literally comes from you knowing that you have this power. But get this, you not acknowledging that you have this power is basically the same thing as you not having it at all, right? So if you don't acknowledge how powerful you are, if you don't acknowledge that you're a creator, it's basically like you don't have the power at all, right? And so when you talk about confidence, and when confidence is literally the one thing as women that most of us are always like, I just want to increase my confidence, right? I want to grow my confidence. I want to grow my belief. But people never talk about like, how exactly do you do that though? I've talked to so many women. I have so many women in my camp. And every time when I talk to a woman about, hey, what were some of the tangible things that you did to grow your confidence? What are some of the tangible things that you did to increase your belief? It all starts back to, well, I increased my faith, right? I was on my spiritual walk. Like it literally always goes back to creation and you acknowledging this power that you have inside of you, right? So again, you have to acknowledge, I am a creator. So how exactly does one create? All right, you create by utilizing the 5 senses. You create by utilizing the world around you, right? And so I literally challenge you guys from this day forth, like after you leave this call, right? How are you creating your world? What are you doing to make sure that everything around you is exactly how you want it to be, right? And so for me, and we think about personal image, I always say, how can I connect to my 7-figure self, right? I'm running if I'm trying to aspire to run a 7-figure business, what does this person look like? When I'm a 7-figure business owner, how do I dress up, right? How do I show up? How do I speak, right? What are the things that I'm wearing? And this is going to be so important because once you start acting like your 7-figure self, literally things start coming into your direction that align with that type of person. So, and I mean, this is like everything, like simple things, from the drinks that you drink in the morning, right? Every afternoon, I now have a cup of tea because for me personally, it just makes me feel like that girl. And so every day you need to feel like that girl. How is this? You might be asking like, okay, how is this even relevant to content? I promise you that it is, because you literally cannot show up in the world as your best self if you don't feel like your best self, right? For example, I went through a extremely toxic, bad breakup in 2020. Like it was real bad. But what that relationship did to me was I was like down at the bottom of the barrel of the dumps, like confidence shot, just hated everything, right? And so what I had to do was I had to literally build myself back up. So what are some of the things that I had to do? Well, first, I sat myself down and I was like, okay, how do I want to feel, right? I want to feel better. And so I did this challenge June of 2021. I was, working from home, always in leggings, felt like shit. I'm like, okay, I just need to feel better. I want to, become more confident. And this is a challenge that I did for 30 days. I told myself, I was like, you know what? You need to get dressed every single day. No matter what, you ain't got to do a full face of makeup, but you need to get up out of these leggings, right? Like you need to get dressed. And so what I did is not only did I get dressed, I also recorded how I felt after I got dressed. And I recorded this over 30 days, literally still have the videos. And when I look at them, it really makes me cry because you can really see how my confidence increased over that 30-day time span just from me getting dressed, right? Some days I did a little razzle dazzle and, put on some eyeliner, but I wasn't doing the most, and I was still working at home, right? So even now I'm like, okay, cool. If I'm at home, what am I wearing though? So now I'll be wearing like the 2-piece little lounge sets, right? I'm not wearing, my old 7th grade t-shirt. Like I need to feel my best, especially if I'm doing any type of work, right? If you want to chill in your sweats and your t-shirt any other time, that's fine. But if you are working, if you're on business calls, like you need to look good, right? I'm a firm believer of look good, feel good, do good, right? Look good, feel good, do good. And if you do not feel good, you're not going to do good. You're not going to show up as your best self. So I challenge you, ask yourself, right? If you journal this out. Your 7-figure self, how is she showing up, right? How is she speaking to people? How is she leaving the house, right? I know a long time, I feel like this debate is always debating on social media is, do we go outside with a bonnet on, right? Like, no, the answer is no. We do not go outside with bonnets on. Why? I'm going to tell you. So I actually have a background in network marketing. And that's what I did for quite some time. And I was helping people in the financial space. And what I realized is that when you're networking and when you're meeting people, you can literally meet somebody anywhere. You could be at Kroger, you could be at Target, you could be at the pet store, the gas station, like you can literally meet somebody anywhere. And what I realized is I didn't feel confident to walk up to somebody, introduce myself to them if I was not dressed as my best self. So now I'm like, even if I'm in a cute little lounge set, I know I look good. I can go up to somebody, introduce myself, and potentially, build a relationship with them. And this is going to be especially key for my individuals who are service providers. But again, this is for everybody, because when you're selling your services, somebody is investing into you, right? And so perception is reality all the time, right? Don't want to beat this with a dead horse, but yeah, create your dream environment, create what you envision your 7-figure self to show up as, right? This is going to be another one. Somebody is off mute. If you'd like to mute yourself, I just don't want to interrupt anybody from hearing. Another thing that's going to be super important as far as how you feel about yourself is going to be self-mastery, right? You have to get your discipline in order. Being disciplined is literally the highest form of self-love. And there is one way that I tell people to work on their discipline muscle, and it's through a morning routine, right? People don't believe me, but I swear a morning routine was like the foundation of like curing everything for me. Because I promise you, if you can stick to a morning routine, what that does is, I don't know, it changes your life, right? Because what it does is it tells yourself that you can keep commands to yourself. Because what happens is we have all of these desires for ourselves. We say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then we don't. And what happens is that we lose confidence in ourselves and we lose confidence in our word. So what happens is we don't trust ourselves. So when we're showing up online, we're projecting to our audience that we're not, they can't trust us either. Because if I can't trust my actions, if I can't trust my words, how can I expect a stranger to trust me? Right? We're overselling ourselves because we don't really believe in ourselves. And so for me, when somebody's like first starting out, and because I'm a person of tangible things, like I like to give people tangible things that they can start incorporating now. A morning routine is a game changer, right? And a lot of people will say, well, I'm not an early riser, right? Me personally, I do wake up. I am up by 5 o'clock every single morning, even on the weekends. And that's just the type of person I have trained my body to be. But you don't have to be a part of the 5 a.m. club to be successful. We have to do what works for us, right? So if you're a 7 o'clock riser, cool. You can have a morning routine rising at 7 a.m. though. The point is that you just need a routine, right? And so a lot of people are like, okay, well, how do I get into creating an actual routine? First and foremost, at the end of the day, you are going to have to wake up a little bit earlier, right? Again, it ain't got to be at the, crack of dawn, but we do want to start training our body to get up earlier. So for example, say right now you're waking up at 10 a.m. and you're like, okay, I really want to tap into this morning routine thing. What do? I do not recommend you being a 10 o'clock riser and you now telling yourself, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. Sis, you're literally setting yourself up for failure. We're absolutely not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to train your body to start waking up earlier. So if you wake up at 10 o'clock, right, what you're going to do is you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to start waking up at 9:30, right? And so for the next week, you're going to train yourself and you're now going to wake up at 9:30. Once you do this for a week and that feels consistent, now you're going to drop it down again. Now you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to try 8:30. I'm going to shave off an hour this time. I'm going to wake up at 8:30. And you're going to do that for a week. And then you're going to keep going until you get to the time that you desire to wake up. Again, that doesn't have to be 5 a.m., right? You can still be productive waking up at 7. The thing is, though, is that we're so drastic. We're either on one side of the spectrum or another, right? You literally do not have to go from 10 to 4:45. You absolutely do not. You can be okay with training yourself. And then from there, what you want to do, once you kind of get the time in order, you just want to add a few things to your routine, right? So whatever that looks like for you, it might be prayer. It might be journaling. It might be taking some time to visualize. It might be working out. Pick 2 things, right? So you're going to wake up at your desired time. Maybe you're going to pray, and then you're going to go to the gym, right? What you're going to do is you're going to keep this routine for 7 days straight. 7 days straight. And here's the thing. You're allowed to miss one day. If you miss one day, just pick up and keep going. But here's the thing. You cannot miss 2 days. If you miss 2 days out of the 7, you got to start all the way back. You got to start all the way back at day 1 to account for another week. Because all we're doing is exercising this muscle. We're creating habits, right? So once you go a whole week through, we're going to add things one at a time. So we got prayer, we got the gym. Now we're going to add journaling. right? And now we have 3 things in our morning routine. Go ahead and do that for a week until it feels comfortable. If you miss 2 days, start back at 1. But this is literally how you create a morning routine that sticks, right? And so I'm telling you, like, a morning routine will absolutely like change your life. Okay, so that is how you kind of increase your image of self, right? Because again, personal image is how we see ourselves and how others see us. So now let's get into how are other people seeing us, right? So showing up online. Showing up online is obviously relevant to our content, right? You want to show up online and in person how you want to be addressed. Right. So again, when I was wearing, anything outside, I had to stop. Right. Anytime that you are in a space where you can meet a potential client or somebody that you could do business with, you need to go out how you want to be addressed. Right. So if we're building 7-figure businesses and you're tapping into that 7-figure CEO, how is she showing up online? This also goes to for me personally, I'm a believer in using one Facebook page, especially if you're a service provider, because as a service provider, like, we are our business. And so think about how your status is and think about how you're showing up online. You have to run your social media accounts like your audience is just in an auditorium and all eyes are on you. Right? Be mindful of the things that we are posting online, because as a business owner, you don't want to get caught up in the petty and the ratchet, right? And that's just really what it is. Because I'll tell you a secret. I do a training on lead generation and how to have like criteria about building your network. And one of the things is you have to have a vetting process for the people that you add like into your friends list, right? Like, not everybody should be your friend. Not everybody is a potential client, right? And so some of the things that I look for when I'm thinking about being friends with somebody on social media is, does this person have a professional, photo, right? What does this tell me? It tells me this person is investing into themselves. When I go to their Facebook page, is it, bad mouthing and just misalignment with how I think, right? So these are some of the things that your potential clients are thinking. And so again, you always want to show up online as your best self. And that also goes to the point of, are you taking care of you? Right? Because again, if you don't feel like you look good, if you feel lack of confidence, if you feel insecure, you're literally going to project all of that into the content that you're posting. You have to understand that on social media, perception is reality. So even if you didn't mean something, even if that wasn't in your intent, that person's view is that person's reality for you, right? So even if you say something and it just came off the wrong way to the people, like, their perception is their reality, right? And so when it comes to you and whatever industry you're in, whatever business that you have, are you the first person that people think about, right? So for me personally, when I was in network marketing, I was in like the Forex and cryptocurrency space for like 6 years. Whenever I would be on social media, people would always tag me when somebody was talking about cryptocurrency or talking about Forex. I was always getting tagged by different people because I was the person that people knew who was giving out valuable information in that space. And so insert your industry, right? Are you getting tagged in posts? Do people even know what you do? Because I'll go to some people's pages and it's crickets, right? Like, I have to scroll 5-6 times on Facebook to even remotely find out what it is that you do. So when we talk about showing up online, when we talk about our content, is it accessible to the people to know what it is that you're doing, right? When you have to think, about your different platforms as a digital footprint. So whether it's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, right? People should be able to come to your page And they should be able to pull out what it is that you do, what problem you solve, and if you are the person for them. If they have that problem, they should be able to identify if they would like to speak with you to see if you're the person with them. You should have content put out that explains what it is that you do, who you serve, what problem do you solve, right? Those are the things that your content should be identifying at all times. Who are you? Who do you serve, right? Who is your content for? Who are you helping? What transformations do you provide, right? Like these are the things that should be on all your platforms because you want to make it super simple for people who are looking for a solution for the problem that you solve, right? So some things to remember is, is your online content positive? How are you positioning yourself? I have a coach, and one of the things that she told me is if you are, when you want to position your authority and you want to move into an authoritative space, especially in your industry, you do not want to get on social media or in your content asking a lot of questions. You want to tell people what it is, right? You're expertise in an area. So you're declaring things. You're not asking things. I remember, I would be on here, I'd be asking questions, not necessarily about like my industry. Like I knew my industry, but just you asking questions, that perception is reality. If I see you asking a whole bunch of questions, you're not positioning yourself as an authority, right? I'm like, okay, this person still needs help, right? And so just be mindful, even if it's like, be careful with like your engaging questions. Think about if you think about any questions that are trying to like lead your audience to you, just be very careful of how you're wording these, because you don't want to make it look like you don't know the answer either. Like put some education in there with your question, right? So again, that way you are positioning yourself as an authority, right? And positioning yourself as an authority, it's so relevant to this personal image piece because people are looking for authorities, or they are looking for leaders in different industries. For example, I just signed up, I just did a new policy for life insurance, right? I literally know so many people in the financial service space. Literally could ask so many people. But I pay attention to everything. And I pay attention to how people promote their business. I pay attention to the value that people are bringing. I pay attention to the questions that they're asking. And if I'm asking you a question and you don't seem that educated or experienced or knowledgeable in the question that I'm asking you, that's going to be a turnoff. Right. So for me, I'm going to go to the individual that is more expertise or that seems more knowledgeable in this industry. Right. And how do people know if you're knowledgeable? You first have to let them know. Right. So one thing, and we'll go over this, it's on the slide as well. But one thing that I personally love doing is I love going live. Right. I love going live about topics in my industry and educating about the things that are in my industry, because I'm giving out free gyms, I'm giving out game, and people want more. Right. Let people know like, hey, I know my ish. Right. Book a call with me. Let's see how we can work together. All right. Let's get into to some of the content that's really going to connect. All right. So first and foremost, how can I connect with my audience? And again, this is obviously for everybody, but service providers, I want you to pay especially attention, right? Because where we seem to fail in our content is that we are not connecting with our audience. Our audience doesn't feel connected to us. Our audience doesn't feel like you can help them with the problem that it is that they have. Right? So here are some ways that you can connect with your audience or get engagement from the content that you're posting, right? So this is going to be with your social media posts. When you post on social media, when you're talking to your ideal client target, I want you to think pain points and power points. So many times we're trying to trauma bond with our audience. You're an authority, right? Your job is to show somebody what their pain is, validate them, and let them know, hey, I help people get this transformation. This is what happens when people work with me, right? So what does that entail? What does that mean? That means that you have to know the pain points of your potential client, right? What exactly are their pain points? So this is going to take a little bit of thought, right? So I would challenge you later on tonight, this week, right? Think about you and yourself. What pain points does your customer have? When they come to you, what is their issue, right? They're tired, they're frustrated, right? Why, right? Why are they these things? The transformation that you provide, what does it help them with? Right? Desiree, right? She helps authors, publish their books. She creates like done for you material. Her clients probably come to her overwhelmed. Like, I don't know about, writing this whole book. I don't have the time to write this. I got the kids, I got the job. I'm trying to run a business, right? So her transformation, she provides ease. She provides simplicity to her clients. Right? And so you have to identify the problem that you solve. And when you're posting on social media, you don't want to just talk about the pain, because what's really going to separate you from somebody else who does the same line of work with you is the way somebody feels. When somebody sees your post, how do you want them to feel? You want them to feel empowered to make a decision. Right? You want them to feel like their problem is small, that if they work with the right person, you're going to get them to the other side. And so where there is a lot of disconnect between our content and what we're saying is we're just not connecting with our audience. We're not telling them why they need to work with us. Right? So think pain points and power points. Authority posts are really, really good. So what's an authority post? You got to start hyping your own or tooting your own train or beeping your own horn, right? So when an authority post is basically helping you position yourself. So if you're in any type of, anytime that you're in any type of like article features, any trainings that you're doing, when you're working with clients, BTS is going to be your best friend. If you're not collecting BTS when you're working with your clients or you're, having a work day, you're missing a lot of content. Because I think what things that I have found is people are like, well, I'm running out of content ideas. I don't know what to post. Y'all, we literally live in a content world. So when you're working with somebody, take a picture, right? You in a meeting, that's a piece of content, right? Y'all filling out contracts. You're showing, what it is that this person is going to receive by the program that they're going to invest in. Picture, right? You're answering questions, picture, like literally anything could be a picture, and then you could just make it into content. Oh, BTS is behind the scenes, right? Behind the scenes content, literally just like a day in the life working with you. But this is how you never run out of content, right? Because if we're really working, like we say we working, there should be a plethora of content, right? So you want to post your BTS photos because, again, you want to let people see what it's like working with you, right? Give them some drop. And then value adds. This is when I like to go like live, doing some gyms. This is going to be particular to your industry. And here's the thing when it comes to dropping gems. And this is also something that could help you as well. And this is what I've noticed. And this is what's going to help set you apart from other people in your industry. This coaching world, service industry world, it's getting real crazy out here. And so you do not want to be that person that's posting gems that can literally be found by a quick little Google search. You want to make it your own. you want to put a little spin on it, right? You want to make it relevant to what it is that you do, because I think consumers are getting tired of regurgitated information. And so again, if you really provide transformations like you say you do, keep it original, drop the gems, right? But make it to where, and this isn't you giving out all your, intellectual property or secret things, none of that. Just put some thought into what you're putting out there. Just put some thought behind it. Social media lives, right? When you go, how many, does anybody go live? If you go live on your platforms, drop a 1 in the chat. If you go live, drop a 1. So going live on social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform, right? Instagram lives are a super, super great way to bring in new potential leads into your business. And how I like to go live, and make sure you write this down. So this is how I never run out of content. This is how I structure my content. So basically, I have about 3 to 5 content ideas, broad content ideas that I'm always talking about, right? This is going to be different for everybody's industry. And so ask yourself, right? Like content pillars. Content pillars. This is exactly what I do and how I never run out of content, right? And again, this is going to be different for everybody's industry. So for my personal content pillars, I'm always talking about networking. I'm always talking about sales, and I'm always talking about community. So when you go to any of my platforms, any of my pages, those are going, no matter what content you see, whether it's a reel, whether it's a video, a post, it's going to fall into one of those 3 categories, right? So you want to have your content pillars. And then what you're going to do is you're going to break your content pillars into subtopics, right? You're going to break your content pillars into subtopics. So for example, I'll utilize networking is one of my content pillars, okay? So networking is a content pillar. You're then going to break that down into subtopics. Okay, so how can I break my networking into subtopics? Well, some of the subtopics that I have, you can do networking online, dominating your local community, right? Preparing for a networking mixer. These are different ways that you can incorporate networking. And here's the key. All of those subtopics that you have, you then break them down a level further. I like to call them learning lessons. So we got content pillars, subtopics, and then learning lessons. And your learning lessons is where the value comes from. The learning lessons are tangible things that your audience can take with them. And so I like to do this number-based. I wouldn't do more than like 5 things because people's attention span is very short, right? And so typically I'll do 3. And so what do I mean by that? So we got networking online, we got dominating your local community, right? So when you break it down to a lesson, now you can say 3 ways to network online like a pro. That's the title of your live, right? 4 ways to dominate your local community. That's a lesson, right? That's a lesson. That's a title to a live. And so what you're going to do is those live lessons, you're going to make them into live videos. You're going to hop on Facebook. You're going to hop on Instagram. And for anywhere between 10 to 25 minutes, you're going to give value. I wouldn't go over 30 because again, people's attention spans, but that is your live video title. And then you go over the content. And one thing is, yeah, that's pretty much that. And so works every time. And you want to ask questions. You want to get your audience engaged when you go live, because the more comments that you can get while you're going live, you can go back and answer those comments. And what happens is the algorithm will keep pushing that live video, right? And so everybody should be going live a couple of times a week. I'm not going to tell you what the magic number is because it's whatever works for you, right? But you should definitely aim to try to do so a couple of times a week, right? When it comes to audience engagement, right? One thing about our content is that you want to make sure that you are consistently nurturing relationships, right? You want to make sure that you are consistently nurturing relationships. So the individuals who comment on your posts, the individuals who are, engaging with your live videos, make sure that you're also engaging with them as well. Because when it comes to positioning ourselves as authorities, when it comes to, people coming to our page, you want to make sure that you're putting out the same energy that you want to receive as well. Okay. And it looks like that is a wrap up. So what we'll do now is if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. You can either drop them in the chat or if you want to come off mute. Perfect. I'm just going through the comments, making sure y'all good. Perfect. So I hope this was helpful. I know probably some people are like, oh my God, we're going to be creating content, but I get this. I teach this a lot because again, it's all about how you show up, right? And it really does start with internal. So, I love that. I have a live talk show. Love that, Autumn. Perfect. So if you guys would like to connect with me, I am on all platforms at Natisha Connects, got my podcast. But yeah, Des, I will push it back to you.
Girl, this was amazing. I'm over here eating my dinner like, oh my gosh, writing and eating. This was so good. I loved everything about it. I am definitely blessed by it. I hope you ladies took notes. I love what you said about the going live because that's been something that I've been kind of like, you gotta get back into that. For a minute I was like, the reels are fine, but people love for you to be, in person in real time, talking to them, answering their questions. And so I love that you said that. And also just another key takeaway for me was just, the content pillars. I, for one, sometimes drift off of mine. And so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Do any of you guys have questions? Yes. Anybody have questions before we?
I have a question. I did want to say this is really great information. I like how you started. I like how you started off, like you said, you thought most of us thought we was gonna dive into the content, but it was a lot of value for you to come on here and just say that you got to work on yourself before you can actually show up for that content, because that is something that's big that I've been going through. Y'all don't know, but I've been going through quite some stuff myself, and that is actually what put a huge pause in me showing up for my content, because I do feel like it doesn't feel as authentic, and people can read that. They can just tell your vibes are different or weird when you're trying to show up. Your content may not be what it was before. A lot of things. So I think that was really great that you started that way, because that is very important for people to know that is a thing as well. And sometimes you have all the ideas, and I think I've heard a lot of what you said before about the level of what you need to do to make content and how you can show up there. This. If you skip the part of yourself and how you show up for yourself, then that does put a huge damper and pause in your content. So I think that's kind of where I'm at now. The fact that I don't know what work needs to be done in the content area, but then I paused in the self space, kind of creating that routine and kind of pulling myself back out of that space so I can show up a little bit better, be able to put that content out. So thank you for that. I just kind of wanted to speak on that because that was really good. I wanted to commend you on saying that. And I have a lot of notes just to kind of remind myself to kind of come back and show up in my confidence in that area.
and I do beauty. So I do think that hugely part of my beauty or my brand is that I want people to feel beautiful and feel confident. So you did get some great pointers in the confidence side within, because I do believe, even though I'm in the beauty industry, I don't believe that beauty is based off of just like, you know, makeup and things. It's like really within, and you know, how you kind of create your life and how you work on your mind, body, and spirit. There you go. Sorry. I didn't mean to like ramble right on, but
No, it's all good. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm definitely glad you received some value too. And even in your journey, like one thing that I would suggest too is like, as you know, to what you feel comfortable with, invite your audience on this new journey with you as well. Like finding yourself, finding, you know, what makes you happy. Like for me personally, I'm actually about to start doing little mini vlogs about like finding a hobby, because I work all the time and like I don't know what the hell I like. So instead of just like doing that on my own, why not create content around that? Because what that does is it creates community, and community is everything. And so as you're figuring out, you know, what you feel comfortable, you know, sharing with online, like take people in on your journey, be vulnerable, be transparent, because that's going to make your audience feel so much more connected to you. So I hope that helps.
I did. That was great. My business is actually called Kay's Beauty Journey, so I need to get a little bit unscared of showing my journey and share some of that,
girl.
that they will connect a lot more. So thank you. I don't know, I could talk all day. I like to talk. So if y'all want to add me and y'all want to friend me, anybody else on the platform, I like to talk.
Awesome. Chantel, did you have a question?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
So I've been kind of a fly on the wall over here on like making a super late dinner for me and my kids. But this was tremendous. I just want to thank you so much. Honestly, I guess I would say I'm a solopreneur more than an entrepreneur, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So I had a Mary Kay business, and I kind of just fell off for a while. And a lot of that is like what you said in the beginning, like you got to work on you. You know, you got to show up as your best self. You know, and you know there were so many things that you know fall in line with what I was doing, and I was like, okay, girlfriend, gotta tighten up. You know, so that's you know over these last, I would say over this last year, I really just been working on my character and you know just really working on me, focus on me and getting me together. So I just want to say thank you because I learned a lot, and
Good.
I had a situation where I was getting ready to go live and I thought about it and it terrified me. I'm like, wait a minute, I got a lot of coming up to do before I go and talk to these people. You know what I mean? Because I truly believe that whatever you're coming across, like you better be living that, you know, not just, you know, okay, I'm going live. I'm gonna pretend to be this person. You know what I mean? So for me, that's very unauthentic. So yeah. But I
love
digress.
that. But a few pointers for you too with your business. Take your business and make it your own. You know, obviously, you know, Mary Kay is the, you know, the network marketing thing, but like really make it and brand it like your own, whatever that might look like for you. I know a few people that have just done amazing things with that business. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know you did Mary Kay, because they've made it themselves. And then when it comes to going live, don't think that you have to be this put together person. Like as you're becoming and as you're going through your journey, share that, you know, to the point that you feel comfortable with your audience, because people who follow us see that we're real people. Like when we're vulnerable and when we share our true authentic selves, it doesn't repel people away from us. It literally brings them closer to us because they're like, wow, I get so much inspiration from her page, from her, you know, she motivates me all the time, but damn, she's just a person just like me. Like I feel that. And you'd be surprised. I would challenge all of y'all to like really write just like a really vulnerable, authentic post about where you currently are and just be straight up and watch the engagement on your page.
That's dope. I like that.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I won't take up time. I know other people probably want to speak. So future coming though, brick by brick coming soon.
Brick by brick.
Listen, everybody take that challenge. I like that challenge. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Vulnerable post, video. Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
All righty.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, girl. This was amazing.
I have one quick question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my daughter's in the background. So my question, you were saying you were going to start a vlog that's like talking about your hobbies. So are you going to put that vlog like on your page, you know, on your business page where you talk about community too? Or is that a way that you're building community? Or is you just going to do like reels or
for me
like
personally, I have had I've kind of segued like 3 different times, and I've only have had one Facebook page and one Instagram because I literally share my journey as I'm going through the journey. So when I do start my little video vlog series, I'm going to be posting about it on my personal page because I only have one. So it's going to be on my Instagram. I'll be talking about it on my Facebook. And yeah, I don't separate the two because I am a service provider. And again, like I am my business. And so, yeah, hope that answered that.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, I've become like a new mom of 3. So I feel like, you know, I was going to start a vlog about like what it really looks like being a mom, the things that we do, like all that, because yeah.
You should. And I'm not a mom, but that mommy space, I mean, y'all got that on lock. Like literally the mom communities are out there. And so there's so many different ones. Like literally just start posting. Start posting.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Make sure you stay tuned for more.